Yo, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make colorful chord progressions and just how to juice up your chord progressions overall. And before we get started, make sure to go tap in with me on social media at inquires. But let's lock in. So starting off with this basic chord progression, you know, there's no color, it's really boring, but if I want to add some color, I can play it like this. So the first thing that I'm doing is obviously arpeggiating the chords, or, you know, playing it like this instead of playing it like. But more importantly, I'm adding extra notes that are in the scale. So with this A minor, you know, I'm playing these two notes as well, which is the second and fourth note. Those notes really add a lot of color because they don't necessarily belong in the chord. So the main rule is adding any note that's not actually part of the chord is going to be colorful, no matter what note it is. So I'm just going to add random notes and show you guys what kind of colors you can achieve. So that's the sixth of the chord that I'm adding, and it's a really harsh kind of sound. But the seventh is kind of lighter, you know, it's a more peaceful kind of sound. But then after the seventh, you know, you're back to A. So it plays an octave. So that doesn't really add that much color, but it adds more fullness, so you can still play it if you want. But then over here, this is where it gets interesting. The 9 is a really cool color, and then we're again back to 3. So as you can see, this is part of the chord. This C is down here, so it doesn't really add color, but fullness, as I said before. And over here is the 4, which is another cool color. And then we're back to 5. Which is kind of where we started. So again, it just adds an octave of fullness if you want to play it like that. So we can do that same thing with C major. You know, I have my C major chord down here, and I'm gonna just play any note in the C major scale. So I'm gonna play the second note, and this is actually the 9th as well. You know, the 9 and the 2 are the same. So 7, 8, 9, it's kind of the same thing. It's just like a different way to say it. And the 4th adds a lot of color as well. It's more unstable though, you know, it kind of wants to go down. And then you have your 6 and 7. I use the 7 and 9 a lot, so like I know a lot of people like to draw their notes in, so I'm just going to show you guys how to do that in the piano roll, and hopefully that'll be helpful to people that don't actually have a keyboard. So I'm just going to put in a C major chord. You know, usually for like any chord, if you add the second note, it's automatically going to make it more colorful. So if I just move this around a little bit, I can get a really cool pattern going. It just sounds like really emotional, and we're only just adding the second note. And then like with a minor chord also, if I play C minor, you know, you can also add the second note. It's going to add way more tension, you know, a lot of color also. So you can also do that same thing. And then I'm just going to copy the bass C minor. And then what you can do is, like, instead of the second note over here, I'm going to add the 4th note up here. So it's going to be like that. And I'm just going to move this down. And then you can just add random notes of color up here, you know. My favorite way to add color to any chord is literally just to add the second note, as I said. And you don't have to like play it all together. You can kind of like slide into it, like. And if you want to make it more complicated and make it like sound more luxurious, you can just play these notes on different octaves. So I'm just going to play a C down here, a G, the 5th, and then I'm going to play the 2. So technically that's already a C major chord, but I haven't even put in the 3rd note. So I'm just going to add that over here. And then add the 7th up here, and then make it like go down to G. And then I'm literally going to copy this over, and then I'm going to make this into A minor by just adding the root down here. Actually just changing this to A. All these notes can stay because they're going to provide like a cool color for this A minor chord. So after you master all of that, like adding the 9, you know, the 4, a 7, and you're kind of comfortable with those, you can actually just experiment with adding notes that are not in the scale, which, you know, you can obviously do that because it doesn't really matter what you do in music theory. What I mean by that is you can play any note on top of a chord. So like if I'm playing C, I'm literally going to play C sharp, which is not part of the chord, obviously, or part of the scale. And obviously that sounds really weird, but if you can find a way to like pull that off and make it fit in, then you can actually go crazy. So like, and that adds a lot of like ethnic kind of sauce to it, you know. And that's kind of hard. Or if I choose this F sharp over C, so I'm playing a C major and F sharp. That's another cool color that you can achieve. And that's a really kind of magical sound, because if you play it like this, the reason that sounds really cool is because I'm using the Lydian mode of C major. I might cover how to use modes in a future video, but you guys gotta run this video up. So this is the Lydian mode. That's another example of playing weird notes can add a lot of color, you know? Alright, so now I want to make a beat with a cool piano progression and show you guys kind of the tips that I talked about in this video. So I'm just playing F major, D minor, G major, and then A minor, and let's get that. So I'm just going to render this main pattern out. So this is just the chords with halftime on it. And it's kind of slowed down. So what I'm going to do is go back to this pattern and change up this halftime setting maybe to like 1/4. And also turn on this band mode and try to get like a kind of twinkle texture pattern. Also, I'm going to go into the piano roll and press Alt Y and flip this. So it kind of flips the sequence of the notes, and then I'm just going to render it out like that. So then this is that twinkle I just rendered out. I'm just going to reverse it, and let's just see how that sounds. I'm going to put these back into the mixer so I can just apply different effects on them. Also, I'm going to sidechain this main piano to an empty mixer preset track, and then put this piano texture preset I'm working on. So now it sounds like this. Alright, so now I'm going to put some drums on this and make it go crazy. I'm just going to drop the melodies down by 200 cents. Yeah, so that's pretty simple. I'm just gonna copy that over and maybe add one more little thing in the second half. Okay, I'm not gonna add too much to this. I just want to add like an open hat over here since the 808 kind of goes out, so I want that to fill in that spot. Let's just add this rim so we can switch off with it. Lastly, I just want to add a shaker kind of perk from over here. So let's actually mute the hi-hat and get like a shaker kind of pattern with this. That's it. Like, I'm honestly just gonna split this and arrange it real quick, and that's pretty much the whole beat. Let's just bring this as an intro. And then I'm just gonna move this over here, so that's gonna be the verse, but for the chorus, let's make it twice as long. And what I'm going to do for these hi-hats over here is make it unique. Just get rid of the rolls overall. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this video. As always, if you guys enjoyed it and you guys found some new sauce in this one, make sure to give it a like, run this one up. And also make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos from me, so you don't miss any future sauce. But that's all I got for today, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.